let's move on to what do you think Cody does at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I've been trying to give this a lot of thought because I feel like there's a lot of different ways they could go. Like I could see him pivoting back to AJ and giving us letting this AJ feud carry on to SummerSlam and letting it like probably do 2 more matches and then give us one like with a stipulation at SummerSlam potentially. Cody and AJ, I think that's a very fun potential idea. I think a dark horse. I have a couple more, and then I'll let you get into that. Dark horse candidate to challenge Cody at SummerSlam in my head is Carmelo Hayes. I think they kind of we got the match on Raw, and it was a very good match. Aside from that super weird spot where they like fucked up and just
that was a bold spot.
Like Cody, it looked
to
like
try
Cody.
to
Yeah, it looked like Cody just destroyed his shoulder. But luckily he was okay. I think that's a dark horse contender to end up in that spot. But the one, and I know people want them to hold off on this, but I think it'll probably be Randy. I think we might get. I think we get a Randy heel turn. Maybe like after the King of the Ring tournament. And he ends up like turning on Cody, and we get that Cody going after his mentor. And I don't disagree with people when I would love for that to get saved until Mania. But yeah, it's right there. It's right in front of you. And it's just like SummerSlam's around the corner. It's a big money match for SummerSlam. You're probably going to have The Rock versus Roman on next Mania. I don't know. Just let it main event SummerSlam in my head is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I completely agree because it's like you can hold off until Mania, but it's going to get overshadowed by Rock versus Roman if you do it at Mania 41. If you put it at SummerSlam, it's going to be like the biggest, most talked about match at SummerSlam. So I think Randy's a good option. Do you think that they need to turn Randy heel to feud with Cody? Do you think they can just have them both like be baby faces and be like, let's do teacher versus student, let's see what you got type of thing?
I just don't think that's in Randy's character. Like, it just makes so much more sense for Randy to just
turn I miss heel Randy Orton.
Like he's always he's always doing his best work as a heel. Like we all know that. Yeah, and we need and that'll be, I mean, and we talk about how much of a pure white meat baby face that Cody really is and is being portrayed as, and probably will for the rest of his career in WWE. So, yeah, throw him up against one of your most prolific villains in company history as one of his first few tasks, along with being the guy that took him under his wing, his mentor. The one that kind of broke him into the business on the main roster, as far as you could say. He said he owes Cody himself says he owes so much to Randy. It's just the more we talk about it, the more I'm just like, yeah. And it's just like, where does Randy go after King of the Ring? You know what I mean? Randy's such a big star. You need something for him to do at SummerSlam. It's just, to me, it's just like, as much as it would be awesome to have that match at Mania, we could also run it back at Mania. That's another thing. But we can get into that later. It's just like, yeah, it's just, you don't want to just push it off. You don't want to push it off too long. And you not to be that guy either, but you don't want to take Randy Orton for granted. Like, he just came back. We didn't even know if he was going to come back. Do this match, just do it. Just do it now. Just on your second biggest pay-per-view of the year.
There's an old reference for you.
I think we've completely talked ourselves into it. And not to say that I'd be mad if they end up going a different direction. But I think this is the match that's just the most obvious right in front of everyone. And and it's not the most obvious in a way that it's like, oh, this is the guy that they're building. It's just the story's written.
there.
You know what
It's
I mean?
there.
Sometimes you don't have to make things more complicated. Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes pro wrestling really comes full circle, and these stories that were started years ago are able to come back to life again later on, with zero plans or thoughts that would ever be what is happening down the line. You know what I mean? But a lot of times that's how we end up with the most beautiful moments. Pretty much. So that's kind of what WrestleMania 40 was, essentially. So was just like a moment of that. It was nothing that was, they were never planning for all those years of those moments with the bloodline. Like, they weren't planning for that exact moment, but that's where it led. And it was like one of the coolest things ever. So like you said, it's like, it's a story that's already there. And if you let Randy go mega heel, dude, that's the other thing. Maybe it could work. I don't really think it could work as a babyface versus babyface, to be honest. I really don't. Like, it maybe, but it's just like not in Randy's thing. Like, it would just be so much better and more entertaining if you let Randy go mega heel and just like super villain Randy.
I think also too, it's like
Cody.
If you don't have Randy go full heel, we will constantly be like waiting for Randy to turn on Cody. You know what I mean?
Essentially. Every
little promo, every little backstage segment, just kind of be like holding your breath, like, is this the moment? Is this going to be the moment? And so that's what I think it makes the most sense to turn him heel. And my God, would that be sick to get a heel Randy Orton now? I think that would be the best option. I also think, you know what would be sick? If we go back to AJ versus Cody, I think like a super sick like final match would be Cody versus AJ in like a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Ooh, that would be
awesome.
sick. Yeah, that would be very dope. I could see something like that happening.
I think most likely we're going to get Randy, and it's going to be awesome. Like, people are like, I know you want it at WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania, but it's like SummerSlam's in a stadium. Like, SummerSlam's just as big pretty much as like a show.
Yeah.
I know it's not like it's whatever. Like, SummerSlam's obviously a very big show, so it would be sick to have it main event like night one of WrestleMania, but also I think it main eventing SummerSlam is just as cool and just as big. So